Hello, Andy. How are you?
Hello, doing well. Thanks a lot for having me. Happy to answer the questions and help in any way I can.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's start with a question. So French fries are everywhere. How did you decide to build a business in such a saturated niche?
Well, look, to be honest, when back in 2009, when we started with the project, pretty much everybody laughed at us. It was almost that people thought that we lost our mind, but we obviously seen it from a different angle, different perspective. The way we were looking at it is that the French fries are actually item inside the F&B industry that it's sold in the biggest amounts, the biggest volumes, and even still there was not a global player or any brand that could actually say we're specialized in this niche and we are trying to be a global leader in it. So this is where we basically saw an opportunity on the market. And not only that, but it was a good challenge to try to switch from a side dish to the main course, the French fries itself. And anyways, on top of that, it's easy operations, which in franchising, I think it means a lot as well, because as you know, the easier the operations are, the better it is for the franchisee and the franchisor. And
yeah, make it simple, yes.
Absolutely.
But what was your initial plan to expanding the franchise? Which strategy did you use?
Well, look, I mean, our first shop, when we opened the first shop, it was quite a big success. We averaged about 1,000 transactions per day in our first year, and because of that, a lot of people started coming to us and asking us how can they be a part of the brand, or if we can do some joint ventures and things like that. And when we saw that we basically have one person per day coming and inquiring about the possible partnership, then we kind of said, okay, we feel that actually franchising as a business model is something that fits into this situation. And we slowly started researching how to franchise, because we didn't know at that moment. and you know, reading a lot, talking to people and so on. And it turned out to be the right decision and the right path for growing the brand.
But very soon, you opened the first international location in Vietnam, if I'm not wrong, and that jump from the not saturated local market, not even national or regional, to the international franchising. What experience do you have from that?
Well, I mean, honestly, even when we started with the franchising model, we did not expect to have this international expansion, especially to the parts of the world which are kind of remote comparing to where Croatia is. And it was really great experience because for us it was an opportunity to learn a lot, not only about how to do international business, but also to understand local cultures, to meet people and you know, to hang out with them. And work together in basically, I don't know, scaling the brand from a small country in Europe to I don't know, Vietnam, South African Republic, or I don't know, all around the world pretty much. So overall, I think it was a great experience, and I would definitely recommend to many other brands that are maybe from the parts of the world that are not thinking about global market, that through franchising model, it's very possible to be on all continents around the world and to really have a very interesting and well, how to say, a very cool business trip throughout the business that you do.
But what about the franchisee support? Is it difficult to support one franchisee in so remote territory?
Well, yeah, I mean, look, on the other hand, it's not the rule of the franchising how you expand, like jumping from this country to that country and so on, because it's, I would say it's much wiser to expand like from where you are and then slowly conquering markets around you. But at that point, we didn't know that. And the good thing we did is that the concept is simple, as we mentioned before. So this is why it's important to keep it simple and so on. One big upside of our business is that our main supplier operates globally. So for us, it was kind of easy to have the same standards anywhere where we open, because we heavily leaned on our main supplier for potatoes. So in that sense, we said, okay, let's give it a shot, and okay, it turned out well. So keep it simple and have partners that are global, and then it can work.
That's okay. Good. Yeah. That's good. That's good strategy. And can you tell me, what is your experience working with consultants and brokers globally? I know that you had a contact with a lot of them, and what would be your advice to them for working with a smaller or just in initial phase of the franchise journey, let's say?
Well, look, I mean, for us, it took a few years before we actually started working with different international brokers. We at the beginning, we were basically growing organically. And once we started working with international brokers, it was, for us, it was a game changer, to be honest, because through brokers, you get much better leads that are qualified, usually with the right type of background. For us, it was obviously F&B background. When you work with a company that is already a multi-brand owner, it's a completely different thing than working with an individual that wants a single unit versus multi-unit or a area development and so on. Also, brokers a lot of time bring you clients that have developed infrastructure for supporting the whole operations in their market and so on. So it was a big game changer for us. On the other hand, you need to be careful who you work with, because there's a lot of brokers, and I would say it's not that all of them are a good fit for any type of brand. I would always recommend that you talk to the clients of the brokers that you're talking to and see what their experience is. This is where you get usually the realistic thoughts and picture of what's happening. And once you start from there, you get that feedback, and then you kind of figure out, oh yeah, okay, this also fits into my frame of what I feel, how we should cooperate with a broker or how to grow in a certain market and so on.
Oh, thank you very much. Good insight. Can you tell me, what is your most successful marketing tool for selling the franchise?
Well, I mean, for us, a lot of times it was a word of mouth, especially in the beginning. Also, my recommendation is that what I see with a lot of brands is that they are a franchise system, but they're not communicating that they're a franchise system, because most of the brands' communications is usually B2C, and they start franchising and they forget that now they're B2B basically. So they need to start working on campaigns that are B2B, including social media or any other type of communication. Also, for us, starting to being a part of franchise fairs, that's another thing that helped us, and so on. And then on top of that, I always feel that PR can bring you a lot of good stuff for the brand, and a lot of leads and a lot of credibility and so on. So do not forget, as if you're a brand that you're starting into the franchising, that it's good to talk to business journals or media or whatever, and explain what is your path to growth and how you want a franchise and so on, because that brings a lot of people in as well.
I was with you in few franchise exhibitions, and actually, I know that your packaging actually is the most appealing thing from most appealing thing on the Franchise Expo, and everybody is running on your stand. Can you explain us this your unique selling proposition regarding your package?
Sure. I mean, look, for us, our core value of the whole concept, it's down to the packaging. And basically, what happens is that, you know, if you're exhibiting on any type of the show, I always say to people, look, try to do sampling. And in our case, so this would be our packaging. This is where we put our fries. And then this is where we put our cups for sauces or dips, however you call them. And then if you want to have a drink, then you can add this cup here. And then if you want to have some protein items, then we have also this part which we add on here. And basically our customers have an entire meal in their hand, which is very cool in terms of practicality. But it also is a big promotion vehicle, meaning that your customers basically become walking billboards.
Yeah.
And because of them, you get more customers. And in terms of exhibitions, like we give samples like this. Okay, we usually make them smaller just to make it more convenient. But then when you have people walking around the exhibition hall, holding your product and your brand in their hands, you know, it becomes a hot subject. Okay, who are they? What are they? And so on. So that's the whole thing.
Good. Can you share with us maybe some tips for effective management of the franchise system?
Well, yeah, I mean, look, from our experience, I think in terms of management, again, it's all about keeping it simple and very straightforward. It's very important to, you know, first of all, to choose who you're working with. So you need to choose your franchisees, not the franchisees that are choosing you. Let me put it that way. You know, you really have to be a good fit. You have to have a very similar mindset because then everything is much easier later. So think about your ideal franchisee profile always. And then when you're managing them, all your franchise documents need to be set up in a very simple way. A lot of times I see operations manuals that are this thick with a lot of stuff in it, but you cannot use. So, you know, it's hard to read that much and to understand what they're trying to say. So I always say, like, look, try to keep it simple. Checklists and those type of things work much better than a bunch of text that it's explaining abstracts and so on. So try to be down to the point. And once you have that, just keep the communication with the franchisees consistent. So do not let too much time pass by. We haven't talked for 3 months, and then you're like, yeah. Oh, okay, what's happening? And so
what's going on?
So it's actually very logical. You know, as a franchisor, you really need to be somebody who understands the side of the story from the franchisee and just keep that, you know, do everything possible so that they are successful, and in that sense, then everybody's happy. Successful.
Yeah, everybody's happy. So my last question: you're a consultant as well, franchise consultant in Croatia and in the region. What are your experiences being consultant in the region where franchising is still not familiar to local entrepreneurs? Because the same situation maybe is in Saudi Arabia. You know, the local entrepreneurs need to now needs to know, to educate about franchising, to be able to have their own franchise business model. So what are your experience here?
Well, yeah, that's a great question, because honestly, 3 or 4 years when I started working, I felt the urge to actually help the other brands, because for a lot of brands here, the biggest issue is that there's no knowledge. So that like nobody knows how to do it, and it just doesn't make sense.
Have some problems with the internet, it seems.
Issues, and obviously, after 10 years in franchising, you can help somebody with your experience and your knowledge. So what I've seen here is that people are definitely not aware of the potential that franchising can bring them. And we've seen through the past few years, the brands that started franchising for the even with COVID and pandemic and so on are actually growing very nicely with a few units per year, which before it was, you know, not even on their radar. On the other hand, what I see is that a lot of local brands do not understand or do not have any standardization in their business. So this is where you need to put your focus on. You need to standardize their visual identity, their architectural stuff. You need to set up the SOPs, because a lot of people build their business organically and they all have it in their head. But for franchising, you need to put it into documents so that, you know, the franchisee can have the right type of support and so on. You have to think about the international markets, meaning when you look at the brand, what is the naming, what is the slogan, and international market, is it too local? I mean, all those things can change. It's not a big deal to do a rebranding and so on, or somebody has the right fit from the beginning. So those are a few things that, you know, are important to look at. Overall, I feel that the world is changing, and in a good way, because smaller markets actually have so many good concepts which can, you know, operate around the world. And so far, we were always used that the franchises come pretty much from the US to the rest of the world. And now what we are seeing is that from, you know, countries around the world are putting out very cool concepts and franchise systems that are also expanding globally. So I feel it's a good, because that way the industry gets better. And after all, the franchisees have much better choice on the market. And the local entrepreneurs have opportunity to grow their businesses on international levels. So yeah, I feel for Saudi Arabia, it might be the next big thing as well, because it's interesting. A few days ago, I had one from Germany. He's also a consultant, and he said, like, unbelievable, what you guys have here is so, like, the innovation level of the concepts, it's very high, and everything is trimmed to, you know, to make it international. And like, because in Germany we have a problem, the concepts are too local, like, you know, naming and so on. And I said, well, look, it's actually very logical, because our market is so small that we have to think about international straight from the beginning, because we need to expand, and we do not have a local market that is big enough. So it could be very similar for Saudi Arabia. I feel that entire part of the Middle East has a huge potential, and that a lot of brands coming from Saudi Arabia could expand Middle East and then onwards. So I feel it's great, and a lot of potential for the future.
Yeah, I think too, because they have very good foundation with the Moshat and the Franchise Center that really gives a lot of education, a lot of help, even help with financing and so on, so that we all didn't have in the beginning. So I hope it will be a good future for franchising in Saudi Arabia. Thank you very much, Andy, for your time, and I wish you more franchise units all over the world, and I hope to see you soon.
Thank you, Ljiljana. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.